Welcome to Rakbank SME Soup Podcast. I'm Thomas Baxendale, Head of Digital for Business Banking. Today we're joined by a true force in the branding world, Robyn Abou Chedid. Robyn is the founder of a fast-growing agency that's helped shape some of the UAE's most compelling and personal business brands. Robyn turned bold ideas and sharp design into a signature style that's now defining the look and voice of a new generation of entrepreneurs. Robyn, welcome to the SME Soup Podcast.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
How are you doing? You okay?
I'm good.
So your origin story is a really, really interesting one. Can you tell our audience where you came from and how you got to the UAE?
Yeah, so actually I've been in the UAE 13 years now. Lebanese background, but born and raised in Australia.
I can tell by the accent.
Can you? I feel like I have a Dubai accent. I feel like it's been washed out and then some words come out that are Australian, like a default.
It's still definitely
It's still there.
Yeah.
I think when I say water, I think that's the biggest giveaway. So yeah, born and raised in Australia. Wild story, I actually wanted to be the physiotherapist for Kobe Bryant.
Oh, wow.
So my father played basketball for Lebanon. He got me into sports at a very young age. I was playing states, was going to play nationals. So I had this huge aspiration to be an athlete. Last minute, I ended up changing into marketing because my uncle, he worked for L'Oreal in Europe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So every year he used to come home with these boxes of perks and gifts. And if you know L'Oreal, they're very big on perks. One year he came back with like 3 boxes, perfumes, makeup, lipsticks. I was thinking, that's wild. I go, why did you bring so many this year? I was 16 at the time. He said that they ran a campaign where they put a teddy bear attached to a shampoo.
Okay.
And when the mothers saw the teddy bear attached to the shampoo, they were more inclined to purchase it because of the emotional connection to the teddy bear.
Oh, really?
Sales skyrocketed. So literally 10 minutes before submissions closed for university, down went physiotherapy, up went marketing because I was so interested in consumer behavior.
Wow.
So that's where all that thought, all those thoughts came around, identity and movements and, why people do what they do. So that's how I got, you'd say, into my profession, into marketing. And then over the years that evolved. My first role was in software. So I have a massive tech background. I remember going to that interview, and when you come out of university, you think you're going to work for these fashion brands and all these kind of like cool stuff. And I went into this interview with this software company. I'm thinking it was the most boring, monotone interview I've ever been to.
Was it the interviewer or was it the company?
You
don't have to say which one, but...
So I always, there's a stigma with technology. And back then it was like, Microsoft, all those big players, that they were just a little bit boring. I don't know why, but it's just the monotone, the delivery of communication. So I think it was just delivery of communication.
Okay.
I ended up getting the job, and it was the best company I ever worked for.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that made me think, why am I aspiring to work for these huge, big brand names when really it's the people that make your everyday different? So the personal branding concept started to come into my head, very, very long time ago. Why aren't we putting the people out there? Celebrities did it. Kobe Bryant did it. Athletes do it. We follow the athletes, not the teams and so forth. But it was never in the corporate space. So Steve Jobs started to do it. Richard Branson started to do it, but it never really reached or went past that. So that really kind of got my interest years and years ago. So I was working in marketing all these years across every industry. I've literally worked in every industry possible. Came out to Dubai to challenge myself. I think a lot of people come out to grow their identity, become someone, do something more than they were back home.
Yeah.
Be successful, whatever that looks like, whether that's earning more money or starting a business that they wanted that they never really, had the opportunity to do before. So that was kind of also one of the pulls coming out here, plus tax-free.
Always a good drive. So how long ago did you come to Dubai?
13 years now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've seen a lot of change in that time.
Yeah, it's moved so fast. Like when you think it's going slow, all of a sudden it just bursts and booms. And I think now it's like crazy. It's like the city's on steroids right now.
Yeah, I came 11 years ago. So I came straight to Abu Dhabi and then I spent 4 or 5 years there and then moved to Dubai for various different banks. And I've seen all manner of change. So
what's the craziest thing you saw change?
Well, it's just the infrastructure. So I come from the UK, right? So if in the UK we need to fix a pothole in a road or we need to build a new road, it's 15 years worth of work and it never gets done, right? So you're driving around all these construction sites waiting for your road. But here, it's just instant. Their ability to create infrastructure that supports the growing economy is second to none. It doesn't exist anywhere else. A decision is made, budget is approved, people get constructing, and then it's done, right? And then more people come as a result.
That's true. I even thought the first time I saw someone vacuum the water when it was flooding, because there's no gutters, right?
Oh yeah. That was when was that? Year before?
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, that's wild. You've got vacuums in the streets.
Yeah.
Pulling out the water.
You're right. It's a real testament to the government here. When we had natural floods a couple of years ago, it's an unprecedented, natural disaster. You need to react very quickly. And within days and weeks, the government had a plan, it had money, it had budget, and had people on the ground fixing all the infrastructure so it never happened again. Now all that's in place, the infrastructure is built, it provides opportunities for people to come to this region. So how do you see opportunities growing in the UAE in this thriving ecosystem?
Yeah, especially after COVID. I know that we're kind of over that word a little bit, but honestly, COVID made everyone have an identity crisis. So everyone started to rethink, why am I still working for that awful boss?
Yeah.
Why haven't I started my side hustle? What do I really want to do in my life? So there was this kind of reshaping identity with everyone, and that really pushed the pedal on personal branding. So I was always doing it before in the background, but the market didn't demand it. After COVID, there was a massive flip, especially with people wanting to start their own businesses. So they're looking at, how do I build my own brand and how do I become a founder, an entrepreneur? There was this huge push for entrepreneurs.
Do you think it was COVID itself that drove that? I agree. You didn't really hear about it that much before COVID, and after COVID, it just exploded.
Yeah, it went wild. I definitely think it was COVID, because people started to feel as though they were in this safe space, right? And usually in a corporate world, people might feel, I've got my income coming in, flowing, I've got a great environment, I'm enjoying it, but they've had this nibble that's been constant. And when the salary cuts started to come in and people were disposed of, it started to make them really think, why I'm not taking control of my own future. So that really started that whole community of, entrepreneurship.
And what were those triggers for you to start your agency then? So obviously people having this thought and they're thinking, I need to get out of the place or I want to do something different. What were the triggers for you to start your work in your consulting?
I actually started 3 weeks before COVID, and I thought I was going to be
Slightly difficult.
I thought I was going to be a consultant in the tech space. So prior, I was at MR running all of the technology, AR, VR, first in the market.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So then I was like, I'm going to be the girl for experiential marketing, technology. COVID hit, identity crisis happened, personal branding started to surface. I was doing that on the side. It never really demanded it, and that started to come up. So I pivoted quite quickly. And it was starting with influencers. How do they build their brands? Yeah. How do personal trainers build their brands? How do people, their startups or their small businesses end up growing it? And then it just kind of grew. And I knew that I wanted to work with C-levels or execs or seniors because they're the ones that really make the difference. My mission was to influence one that could influence thousands instead of going into the mass.
That's a great mission.
Yeah. So, and I love it. As much as I'm teaching them a lot of things, I'm also learning a lot. Their mindset, the people that, are out here, they're really ambitious and they're really, trying to make the most of who they are and trying to also find themselves. It's not easy.
No.
So now I partnered with one of the leading recruitment firms in Dubai. So it's like, how do we start personal branding all of the entrepreneurs, but also all the leaders within businesses and really start bringing them to the forefront? Because if you can increase the corporate brand, the employer brand, and then also the personal brand, you've created a powerful entity.
It's really interesting. So talk us through it a bit. So I'm a new company in the UAE. I'm starting to get some traction, popping up on various different social medias, but it's not really where I want it to be. Is that when I engage you? How do I make it thrive?
So I think a lot of people try and figure it out first when they should get help very early on.
Okay.
Yeah. But let's say that's the situation. I've gone and I've tried, which is awesome. I think people need to not sit in ideation and actually get into the doing. A lot of people try and focus so much on selling and they don't understand what they stand for. Why are they doing it in the first place?
Yeah.
What is their actual purpose, mission of the product? Because money is always a result.
Of course. It's a byproduct.
It's a
of a successful product.
Exactly. So if they understand the identity of who they are, if they're the entrepreneur, they then inject that into the organization, which is their child, which you name, you dress, you bring in personality. It's going to find its own space in the market. that people forget to brand themselves first.
Wow, it's so interesting because all the way through sort of business school and education, they teach you is USP, market fit, your product, and the focus is very much on, and now particularly in 2025, the technology that sits behind it, particularly in your business, how efficient is it, the workflows and all that type of stuff. Very little is still put on your personal brand, and there's quite a lot on the corporate side from a branding perspective, but this is a very niche and interesting area.
Yeah, so people, it's become an afterthought. They're starting to see people do it, and they're like, oh, I need to catch up, right? I don't know why everyone feels like they're in a race online to be someone, be something, post so often, but it's really, you need to have clarity. When someone says your name, Tom, what do you want them to think? What do you want them to feel? What do you want them to associate it with? When you introduce yourself, what are you saying? Most people default to say that I'm a founder. They'd say their job title. They say their company they work with. If I strip that away and you had to really tell me who you are, who are you?
Are you asking me now? I have no idea. I'm still figuring it out. I have 2 young boys, so I spend most of my time.
That's okay. So
trying to figure out who they are.
So your identity right now is a father.
Oh, that's nice. I'll take that.
Which is at the forefront right now. And as you evolve as a human, identities are going to change. It's very normal, especially coming out into the UAE. I'm pretty sure most people are here to recreate themselves. No one's come from another country and tried to just replicate what they were there. They wanted to be something more. They wanted to enter a new industry. They thought about doing multiple businesses. They thought of being someone that they've always kind of dreamed to be.
Yeah. What really interests me about this subject is authenticity. So I would like to get your views on this sort of Instagram culture, right? So personal brand's very important if you're trying to launch a business and you're trying to communicate that to a customer. But there's also this sort of side section of influencers who are just building their own personal perception in an area which isn't particularly true. So they're putting themselves in situations that aren't natural, they're throwing money around, they're buying cars, they're driving around Dubai. Where is that intersection for you? And have you come across that in your consulting?
Yeah, it's interesting, especially out here in the region. I mean, branding is reputation, and reputation is all about perception. So if you see people putting all these flashy things, they're trying to build their brand through association.
Yeah.
Which is the fastest way to build a brand, right? If you're seen around luxury brands all the time, you're going to be perceived as a luxury individual. Yeah. Even though you won't be renting everything, it's still, that's what they want. So with personal branding, I always say you need an objective.
Okay.
I've had people come to me that want to do personal branding, and then I'm like, don't do it. It's not worth your investment because you're not doing towards an objective.
Ah, I see. Okay. So you've had some of these clients.
I had some of these, yeah.
Interesting.
I had someone say, I just want to be famous.
Oh, wow.
And I was
careful what you wish for.
I'm like, for what?
Yeah. What's the end goal to being famous?
For what? Yeah. What do you want to be famous for? Like, what is your actual objective? I had some clients that come in and they said, I want to go from successful to significant. How do I make that shift? I want to leave corporate. I want to start my own thing. I want to stay in corporate, but I also want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
Who am I? What do I put at the forefront? So I always say, what's your purpose and objective? And you need to pick one thing. And people struggle with that.
Yeah, I bet.
So if I had to brand myself, my one thing is personal branding, but I have so many layers. But people need to know me for one thing, especially in this world of AI and searchability, SEO.
Of course.
All of that. So you have to be associated with keywords. People need to know who you stand for and what you stand for so that they can find you for a purpose.
So how does it work then after your clients sort of do the initial engagement? Do you do an assessment of them, the brand? Do you do social media sweeping, SEO, searches? Like, how does it work?
So the first step, I do discovery sessions.
Okay.
So I keep personal branding personal. I think that's where a lot of people fail, is to be heavily involved in their own personal brand. A lot of people would go out to agencies and say, can I just put you on a retainer? Can you do my posting? I want to be here, and there. And it always lets them down because they'll come back and receive the content. They'll be like, this doesn't really sound like me. I'm like, well, of course, you're not involved. You have to be involved. So the first step is, what is your purpose? And are you willing to put in the time and effort? Because you need to keep it personal. If they say yes, wonderful. I do a discovery session.
And do you have a crack team of people that can sleuth all of the social media platforms and pull all that together?
So social
media... Or do you use
I do use
Remix?
AI, but not for discovery. So discovery is because I have a background in consumer behavior. Because of my uncle's story, I got so interested in how people move. So I have worksheets. I've been told I was a psychologist, but I really crack your positioning. We align on that, and then we go, how do we put that into the market? What's your ecosystem look like? Offline and online. People are forgetting offline. People are forgetting how they show up, the way that they dress. People are forgetting how to speak because they're so used to typing posts. So there's two worlds.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of there's a little bit of a mix of that. Now with the social media game specifically, there's a confusion of, should I be here? Should I be there? Should I be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn? It's wild. And I'm like, go back to your purpose. Usually the gateway channel for corporates is LinkedIn.
Sure.
Because it's shifting. One, they're comfortable, but two, it's shifting away from being a CV. It used to be a CV. You used to use it for putting your job description, your new job, starting a new position. But people need to get away from that mentality. It's becoming a mini website.
Yeah. And so I AI'd you before coming on the podcast. You wrote on a post that LinkedIn is the most underutilized professional channel.
It is. It's getting traction now, but it's still the most underutilized because you've got all the content creators smashing out content. All the young 20-year-olds are very good at following the algorithm, putting posts out, posting every day, just getting themselves out there. And the experienced people are silent, annoyingly silent.
Yeah.
So how do we get the experienced people to use the platform to speak up? Because all they're doing is complaining about the younger generation, putting selfies and boring things, but really it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
So they have to be more vocal.
So there's a lot on LinkedIn, like it nudges you to say, on average, people only post like once every 90 days or something. It's very, very low. So if you increase that to, 2-3 times a week, your exposure goes up by thousands of percents.
Small effort, big reward right now.
Yeah.
Especially if you're an expert.
So then where's that blurred line between posting for the sake of content, so I can meet my 6 posts a week, versus actually contributing to something in the business community and then getting good sort of brand recognition from that?
The community is an online community? Or?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
On the LinkedIn side.
So you have to be committed to the process. So that's when I go back to, purpose. Are you willing to do the work? Because if you do that, this is going to be the result. But why are you doing it? Content creation is actually quite easy, especially now with AI.
Yeah.
It's super easy. But we can distinguish whether that's coming in from an actual person's thoughts. So personal branding is made up of 3 things.
Okay.
You got your skills, your experience, and your personality. Most people lack personality. So when you see people posting online, you're like, this feels a little bit dead. Everyone sounds the same.
Sure.
Personality comes out, especially in a podcast. Now your personality is coming out. How do you bring this out online?
Okay.
So that's what you got to start thinking about. How do I actually bring my identity, my charisma online? That's why posts with pictures help, videos help.
Yeah, I read that somewhere, that if you literally just posted the same things that you've been posting for the past year or so, but put a selfie of you just looking at the camera or doing something, you get massively more traction.
Massively more traction. But people are nervous. We have a fear of being judged. But we forget that people forget about posts. Can you remember the last post you saw from yesterday? So every time I post content, I put it out there and I'm like, masana bye. I don't think about it. I think about my next post.
So then what tips can we give to businesses that are looking to sort of grow their presence on something like a LinkedIn? You've got multiple different options. You can write posts yourself. You've got AI. You can generate these things. You can schedule them into these calendars on different kinds of platforms now. What tips would you give to a small business so that they can try to grow it organically and authentically?
Okay. So the first thing is, one, understand why you're posting on the platform. So let's say you have a product that you love, that you created, and the origin of the story is important. Why did you get that out? Start with that.
Yeah.
Because that's easy to put formation. You probably have a picture of the moment where you first created that particular item or had a thought about it.
Yeah.
Start to really tell your story in your voice. A lot of people speak in the written language. They speak in the written language. It's rather than posting in a conversational way. So there's becoming too formal online. So they have to think about, when I have a conversation, how do I sound? How can I take that and start writing like that online?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that would be the first step.
Mhm.
Think about having a conversation with people online, not overly structuring it.
Trying to breed that community and people engaging with you.
Yeah, and just put it out there and don't think about metrics. I don't think about metrics. I've had some posts that have had maybe a few likes, but loads of impressions. It's reached lots of people. At the end of the day, you might need 1 or 2 people to see it. That's really going to be life-changing.
And I guess you don't know the intricacies of the algorithm, right? So trying to play that game, I think, is a losing game because it shifts and it changes all of the time.
Unless you're going into volume. So the way around that is volume.
Okay.
So Gary Vee does this. I don't know if you know Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Big personality.
Talks really quickly.
Talks really quickly, pumps out content all the time.
Sure. His
strategy was volume. So he's like, I'm putting 4 posts a day because I guarantee you're only going to see 1 of them. You're not going to see 4 of his posts a day because the algorithm doesn't push you 4 posts a day. So if you're posting once a day, your followers probably aren't going to see that. So that was his mindset in terms of volume because it works. Because just get in the algorithm rather than playing and betting against it. But other people don't have time for that.
Well, no, and it's a difficult line to cross. 4 posts a day is a lot of content.
It's a lot of content, and you got to be realistic with your
Yeah.
time. Yeah, so that's why I say start with 1 on LinkedIn, and start to enjoy it. Maybe have a buddy where you figure out, you know what, we're both going to be posting content. The community, the amazing community that you're building. Maybe there's a buddy system. Let's have accountability for our posts. Let's have ideas. Let's brainstorm. Let's really get out there. Let's optimize our LinkedIn profile. If you go and you look at my LinkedIn profile, I've optimized it from my banners to my feature cards to my about section.
Yeah.
I'm really speaking to the individual.
The thing that I find really engaging is when people post community type stuff. So we do a lot of work with the free zones here. There's 52 free zones. They're helping their customers with the trade licenses that enable them to get business cards with us. But a lot of these free zones now have amazing communities of the SMEs that they're almost like mini incubators. And those success stories of where they've done the community event are the really soul food kind of posts that I like watching. I guess in terms of the UAE and this sort of ecosystem, how is the UAE helping people to build a personal brand, or what types of trends are you seeing here?
I'm finding that it gives you the space to be anyone that you want and connect and network with anyone that you want. I think this country gives access. Other countries don't give that.
Yeah.
And you have access to ambitious, like-minded people. I know that sounds like just as a buzzword, like authentic, but it's true. You can go and find people that are similar thinking to you, that you have a drive that is similar to you, because anyone in this country wants to be someone.
Yeah.
They're not complacent. If you live in Dubai or the UAE, you are not complacent.
Everybody's an entrepreneur.
Everybody's something. Everybody's an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to do something, be bigger, be better. So that ambition I don't see in any other country.
And it's universal to everybody that's come here. It's one of the reasons why I absolutely love living here and have stayed here continuously, because effectively 80-90% of us are all in the same boat. We've all come from somewhere. We're all trying to be something, and this environment actually just supports you and helps you grow. Everything from the schooling system to the government entities that help you, to the ID systems that can produce you with your golden visa and all that kind of stuff. They're all being, overhauled, more efficient, more digital, getting out of your way so that you can go do what you do best.
Yeah. This is very true. I mean, I've been here 13 years. I love it. I went back after 5 years and then I just ended up coming back. It just vacuums you in.
Okay, so just following on from that, obviously everybody's coming here, they're starting up their business. A lot of what our SMEs tell us is the competition is so rife, it's very difficult to stand out. How can our SMEs, stand out in a really, really aggressive and competitive market?
So I think a lot of people, they end up spectating everyone and then becoming very paralyzed whilst they're spectating, instead of staying in their lane and just staying focused. A lot of the time when I create content and I want to push it out, I don't consume it, because that ends up making me a little bit blind. It makes you think a lot of things.
Subconscious about...
We're
Oh,
human.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We start comparing. Why are they doing that? Why do they get more engagement? Why are they being seeing an event? Why are they starting their own podcast? Am I behind? So, it starts to really bring you down. So everyone forgets that you're on your own journey. You have to be enjoying it. Go at your own pace. But the more effort you put in, the more reward you're going to get.
Yeah.
So in terms of competition, it's really just kind of like stay in your lane, stay focused, know what you want, and be efficient with your time management.
Don't get distracted with what others are doing.
No, and we all do it. Sometimes I find myself down that rabbit hole. I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? Why am I comparing myself to everyone? Why am I observing everyone? And you forget to congratulate yourself.
Yeah.
I told myself that was one of my things this year, is to celebrate the small things that I've done.
That's nice.
Yeah. So like after this episode, I'll have a little word to myself.
And is that privately in a mirror? Is that on a little? You could keep notes.
I just do it privately to myself. You know, I think it's nice. I think you need to reinforce yourself too after you've done this. Amazing.
Well, I have a day job to go back to after this.
But still, that's amazing. The fact that you can come off doing this and then go back into a job and change hats and identity is amazing. So it's that energy you got to keep feeding yourself and staying focused and really, you know, believe. It's the whole belief in yourself, right?
Well, confidence is a huge thing, right? I think we all naturally gravitate towards people that are confident. But not everybody has that level of confidence. So are there any tips that you can give to help people build that confidence, even if it's posting online for the first time or starting a podcast or, you know, getting out there visually? What things can people do to increase their confidence?
So the one thing that helped me is that no one actually knows anything and everyone figured it out eventually. So when I look at even CEOs stepping into a CEO role, they weren't a CEO before. They didn't know. They weren't taught. You're not trained. So everyone's figuring it out. It's just believe in yourself.
And to what degree is it nature versus nurture? Do some people have it, some people not? They call, what is it in the US? There's the presidential voice. Some people have it, some people just don't.
I think it's learnt. I think how you speak is learnt. I think everything can be learnt. I used to talk very fast because of my accent. And when I first moved out here, no one understood me. So I had to train my voice to have more clarity.
Oh, wow. So it's a purposeful activity that you do?
Yeah.
And is it natural now, or do you keep training on speaking slow?
It's natural now. Yeah, it's natural now. Because I make sure that when I'm doing something like a podcast, I think about my audience. If I'm not clear, I'm not confident, they're not going to digest the information that I'm giving. Yeah. So you really start to think about intent. Everything has an intent. Everything that you do has an intent.
I remember reading somewhere that the person that speaks the slowest in the room is usually the most authoritative.
This actually comes from as well a negotiator in America.
Yeah.
I got his name. He said calm is confident.
Is it Simon Sinek?
Not Simon Sinek.
He said something similar, I think.
Probably.
Usually it's the calmest person.
They're probably getting it from each other.
Yeah, they're reverberating. But yeah, it's usually the person that's most calm. And that's a form of confidence, right?
It's a form of confidence, yeah. A lot of people think that confidence is loud accents, taking over the room, which is a form of confidence. I'm not saying that it's not. But if you might be shy, it's okay to be softly spoken. Yeah. But you just have to be clear in what you're saying. Yeah. So I think communication is huge. I think if you can improve that, that's really going to support your personal brand. It's going to support the way that you write things. It's going to support the way that you speak. It's going to support the way that you pitch your product. I think people are forgetting that, especially if you're an engineer. If you're an engineer and you can skill stack with communication. Wow. Full stack. Full stack engineer. There you go. Skill stack with full stack. But yeah. So how do you build your skill set? How do you build your skill set that makes you stand out? And that's another thing with competition. How do you stand out with that? So I did a styling course. I thought, okay, if I'm personal branding and people want to be speaking, I need to understand how you dress when I do photo shoots, how you dress the individual. I did communication courses. So I've done all of that. I'm in negotiation. I'm in body language courses so that I can skill stack and really support what I'm doing with everyone else. So
now you're compiling all that together and offering it as a service.
It becomes an ecosystem.
Yeah.
So that's really how you get ahead of your competitors, because people aren't thinking about the skill stack.
What do you think is the evolution of your industry then? Because it's a fairly new industry.
Super new.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people popping up, which is good and bad. Good because it's creating a market. Bad because sometimes I look at the people that are offering it and I'm like, you need to really understand what it stands for. Because if they start to attract people and they're not able to deliver, the person that becomes their client is the one that's really going to suffer. Yeah. I'm all for reinventing. I love that people are enjoying this space. Go for it if this is what you want to do. But I think they really need to study it a little bit more, really understand it.
And ultimately, if you're not helping your clients, then your company's not going to succeed. I think one of the best quotes that I found from you was, personal branding isn't actually about you.
Personal brand, yes.
I love that one. Where did that come from?
What was your first thought when I said that?
Well, it's kind of contradictory, It's an infinite loop.
So a lot of people put themselves out there as look at me content. A lot of people put themselves out there for look at me content when it's meant to be learn from me content.
Yeah, okay.
So there needs to be a shift in the value that you're adding. And everyone says add value, add value. I know it's a buzzword and it's super annoying. But
We'll define value.
yeah, so how can you translate what your identity is and what you're offering and what you do different into words for someone that can easily digest and then take that into action? Put something out there that one person can read that can go and do something with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dumping content online as a memoir. I don't want to know your breakfast this morning.
Well, everybody's getting up at 4 a.m. and dipping their face in ice. That's the key to success, no?
Yeah.
That's at the end of your course, surely.
-6 degrees equals success.
Hill sprints and ice. Yeah.
Unless you can create a narrative and there's meaning behind posting like that, awesome. But if you're just telling me without something out of it, so every post that I do will have a takeaway in it. It's a learning.
Yeah.
And sometimes I used to get nervous with posting because people would copy the content.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I went through a phase where I stopped posting as much because I was like, people are taking and repurposing my content. And I used to get really overwhelmed by that.
What was your reaction to that?
I want to go and take it down.
Deploy the lawyers.
Or comment on the thing and say, hey, this looks interesting. But I was like, so there was a point where I had my own self-doubt. I was just like, if I'm sharing all of my content, someone's taking it and making their own business, which someone did 6 years ago, actually took my business concept.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, I'm not going to let that get in the way. It's fine. I wish everyone the best. But still with content, I think people, they start to get in their heads. And I used to get in my head when I was posting, thinking people are going to steal it. Is anyone reading this? When I started to shift it to what is someone taking out of what I'm saying? And can they turn this into an action? Then it becomes valuable and then it becomes useful.
Wow. Teach a man to fish.
Teach a man to fish. I don't know how to fish, but it's
the same concept, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So you could probably say that to everyone that's a fisherman or wants to fish.
So obviously your company is very successful and you've helped a lot of business banking customers. Could you share a success story of an entrepreneur that you've helped become a thriving business?
Yeah, so I would love to share names, but I can't. But part of it is they were actually doing relatively well in their business. Yeah, so they're doing quite well, but they were stagnant. And it's like, how did they elevate what they're doing and really get more visibility? And when they started to put themselves out there as part of the brand, it was an FMCG.
Okay.
They started to go and be part of the product. They actually started to serve the product. They started to really get involved with the product. And people started to capture that content first. It was the other way around.
Oh, wow. Okay.
People found out that they were the founder while they were doing that, and they loved it because the founder was amongst it. So that was the first step into it. If you can find a way to be part of the customer experience and kind of reverse engineer the love a little bit, that's an easy way to kind of enter putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So then from that, we started to build their profile online, starting with LinkedIn and then Instagram. Instagram's also an untouched space.
Yeah.
Because a lot of entrepreneurs and anyone quite senior and experienced is usually on Instagram, but not posting. They have private accounts. They're just social lurkers. But really that platform right now is really pushing out content and anything visual.
So I have a theory of Instagram that it's quite difficult for people in corporate environments to engage in, because it's seen as the personal side to the business side, which is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So LinkedIn, I think people in corporate environments find it fairly easy to post to because they're in the industry and it's okay to post there. On the personal side, I think a lot of people think that they're not allowed to post personal things because they'll be,
If they're associated with a brand?
Yeah, or a corporate.
So for me, Instagram is the fun side of LinkedIn.
Okay.
So usually on LinkedIn, people are a little bit more polished. They're a bit nervous, I guess. They're posting their names showing their title, their company, their whole history. But Instagram, you can be a little bit more playful. I mean, we're all humans at the end of the day.
Sure.
We should be able to speak our truth.
Yeah.
And people confuse privacy with transparency. I keep a lot of things private. I'm just selective with what I share. People might think I share a lot. I'm like, no, I have a lot of private things.
Yeah.
So for me, Instagram's also an untouched space for the corporate world.
And how do you link those two things together? Because you have to kind of be seamless with what you post on each platform.
So sometimes some content works the same, but Instagram's a lot more visual.
Would you advise like posting on both the same thing or no?
Test.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely test. See what your audience likes. Don't follow a format. Go and get the content out there. See if it works on both. If it doesn't, pivot. You're only going to learn in the doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't doing.
And just touching on the brand side, so we've talked a lot about personal brand and content, but what's your views on, the logo, the color schemes of a particular brand? I think one of your famous quotes was, "Yellow makes my skin look green."
Oh, that's when I did the color thing for styling.
Okay.
So we're either warm or we're cool. So everyone has a skin tone that sits between the two. So that's why you kind of need to know, especially in the styling world, what you sit between. If we're talking about branding and colors and all of that, I say to everyone, pick something that you like. At the end of the day, yes, there's psychology in colors. We know that. Blue's a safe color. Most corporates go with blue. Red is more loud in your face. So at the end of the day, do you love it? Do you not?
Yeah.
I look at Apple. I think that's the worst name in the world, but someone loves it.
Yeah.
You can build a story and call it whatever you want. So when I do identity, I always make sure, yes, I'm creating the story and the visuals represent the story. But at the same time, do you love it? Do you not? If you hate it, remove the color. Let's pick something else.
Okay. And you do a review for companies on the total spectrum of brand?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I'll do personal branding them and then I'll inject it into the company and then brand. So the recruitment firm that I'm at, I did that. I branded the partners and then I recreated the brand.
Oh, wow.
So the brand speaks the language of the partners.
So it's full service.
Full service.
End to end.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it was awesome. It's actually fun because they also live it. People live the brand. You need to live the brand. Branding's so important. Anyone that's not branding correctly for me is like, that's a big no-no.
Yeah. Rakbank has a very, very powerful brand for businesses in the UAE. So we're very lucky to have that as well. But I love the red.
Yeah, it stands out and it's memorable. It's memorable.
Yeah.
And it's like easy to say and you just memorize it. Rakbank's so easy.
Yeah. Okay. So final question, your crystal ball, your prediction for your industry moving forward in the UAE, what's going to happen in the personal branding space?
I think that everyone's going to start following the leaders. Sheikh Mohammed's going to become a huge personal brand.
Yeah.
I would love to see him more out there speaking because everyone loves him. I love him. I think we're all here because he's created such an amazing environment. So if the government become voices and more advocates online on the platforms themselves, that's going to drive everyone else to kind of be their own voice and identity.
Would love to have him on the podcast.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. His brand is super powerful.
Yeah.
I think that's why we're all here. Because we have a leader that's actually executing the vision. And that
people are, they resonate with that. I think unclear leadership is an important part of why people choose to live in the places that they live.
Completely.
A lot of UK expats, a lot of European expats coming out here because perhaps things are a bit difficult over there now. And here it's very stable growth economy.
Yeah, it's secure. There's leadership and leadership is a personal brand.
Yeah.
So if we have a great example of that already, so people, I'm no doubt, are going to start following that because this environment, like I said, you can create your own identity. You can be whoever you want to be. So I see this becoming mandatory. I see that companies are going to start having their CEOs, personal branding. All of these small businesses are going to have people at the forefront because people do business with people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what's really going to sell. And this economy is going to turn into a hub of people economy.
Well, a lucrative feature for you and your business then. Look, Robyn, I can talk to you for hours. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No, thank you. This is awesome. Loved it.